Radhe Radhe Vancha Kalpa Tarubhyascha Kripa Sindhubhya eva cha Patitanam Bhavanebhyo Vaishnavebhyo Namo Namaha Om Jnana Timirandasya Gyananjana Salakaya Chakshur Unmilitam Jena Tasmai Shri Gurave Namaha. So, busy school day today. I was thinking to say a little bit about my most beloved Gurudev Pandit Sri Anantadas Babaji Maharaj. And on this special day of his glorious disappearance into Nitya Lila, I was thinking to meditate about his magnanimous gift to his disciples and how merciful and how wonderful he was, so kind and so really compassionate. I had the great fortune, why I don't know, but I had the great fortune to meet him many times in very close proximity, and always he was so warm-hearted and kind and loving. I will never forget all these moments. But what I remember was that actually this Radhakund place, Radhakund is so special. And when I think about my Gurudev, I have to think about when I first saw photos of this most beautiful lake of Swamini Radhakunda when I was in ISKCON, 1990. There was one Yugoslavian, Croatian photo seller in our temple in Heidelberg, and he was selling a lot of photos, and he was selling most wonderful photos of Srimati Radhika from Vrindavan, from Krishna Balaram Mandir, and then he had these most wonderful photos of Radhakund, and I always felt as a bhakta with no knowledge, with nothing, I had just joined, so to say, and I was so much attracted to this most beautiful lake Radhakund, and I was melting. My heart was melting when I saw these photos there at the table, and I immediately bought one photo of Radhakund, and I put it in my armoire in the Bhakta room, and whenever I put out my clothes or put in my clothes, I was seeing this wonderful lake, and I was thinking, my God, please let me go there one day. And the Lord and Srimati Radhika, they have been so merciful that they sent me to Srila Anantadas Babaji Maharaj, the Gurudev. I met his books in 2001. I ordered all the books, spiral bound copies from Sri Advaitaji for 500 German marks. A huge package arrived at my school. My headmaster was saying, hey, there's a package for you. It's like tons of kilos. And I went there, and it was these yellow, red spiral bindings of Vilapakusa Manjali, Radha Rasa Sudanidhi, Stava Vali, Prema Bhakti Chandrika, and I was so attracted to this literature, and I was thinking, my God, I have to really contact the man, the soul who wrote this book. I did not know much about Srila Anantadas Babaji Maharaj, Srila Gurudev, but I was so attracted by his words and his commentaries that I immediately decided to write him a letter, and I was planning to meet him in the summer there, but it never happened. But he immediately sent an answer back, handwritten, and I made it as I still have that answer. He wrote it by hand, and it's still there in my cupboard, and it's really a wonderful memory when I went to the letter, and I saw there's a letter from Radhakund, handwritten, in this one page, which is the envelope and the letter itself, and it was from him. it was the beginning of a very nice relationship. By the mercy of Baba, he answered all my letters. I think I have like 20 plus letters over the years. And then 2004, I had the great fortune to meet him. And he gave me Diksha and asked me after Diksha if I was interested in receiving Siddha Pranali. So I 3 days later, and I was okay. Very nice. Please help me. I am a very fallen Jiva. And he immediately agreed, and he gave me Siddha Pranali 3 days later. And I will never forget these moments there, when in these intimate surroundings, whispering the mantras in my ears, revealing the form, everything. It was so personal. Like I always have imagined the Guru to be so personal and loving. Everyone said, no, you cannot do this, you cannot do that. But I am not an introverted guy. I am very puffed up extroverted guy. So I always went to him with a very open mind and open heart, and he immediately reacted the same. He was always very jolly, very friendly, and I fell in love with him on first sight, and he was so much loving and taking care. And I remember presenting him the first books Yugal and me produced, and he was so happy, and we continued to bring him the books, and he was so happy and loving. And then we went there with the disciple of Sadhu Maharaj, and he was so happy to see that all people all around the world, Europe, everywhere, were coming to Radhakund, and he was beaming of bliss to see all these faces sitting in his room. And it was ecstatic to see him like that. And he always had ear for you. You could always come to him, and I asked him many things. I had many darshans, and it was unforgettable. I will never forget how much love by the Lord's and Swamini's mercy. I don't know. I don't deserve any of this. But he showered me with so much love. I was not able to comprehend. And still I am not, because I'm such a rascal. I could do much more in my life, but I always have Baba in my heart, and he knows that I'm a fool. But I will always try to hang on to his lotus feet and try to serve him even in the slightest way. And I will never forget how much love he has for his disciples, how much love he has for everyone who went to him. He took the time to answer all the questions. I never met anyone with so much magnanimous love and compassion and kind-heartedness, but also so very well versed in Shastra, so knowledgeable, so paka. Everything Baba did was so gentle and beautiful, and according to, it's like you had one of the acharyas right in front of you. So beautiful to watch, everything in perfect manner, according to Gaudiya Vaishnavism, and so much knowledge, and also so much rasa filled. His heart was always filled to the brim with love of Srimati. Always. You could always feel this, that he was together with her, that he was always filled. It rushed out sometimes, but he controlled himself. But he was always so full of love of Radha that you have to feel it in his presence. Really, it was not possible not to feel anything in his presence. So this was really, this is not, you cannot compare anything in this world to meeting such a dear Kinkari of Radhika in the person of who walked the earth as Anantadas Babaji Maharaj. And still his legacy is continuing by grace of Sadhu Maharaj and other wonderful Vaishnavas who still are distributing his love by reading his books and by lecturing from his books, it will always be there. I can honestly say that Baba was always accessible. I remember one day, 1st of January, I went there with my wife for darshan in the morning, and knowing that both of us were mlechas from the West, Baba was coming down the stairs and he was looking at us and he was smiling at us and he was raising his hand in blessing gesture and he was saying Happy New Year. And we were blown away because he descended to our mundane platform just to be so nice and kind and loving. He didn't have to say Happy New Year because it's not his New Year, but he knew that it is for us, in our tradition, in the Western world, it is a special day, and he honored that, and he was so loving. I was like, my God, what a wonderful, wonderful and kind-hearted soul to all the jivas. He had so much compassion in his heart that it overflew and that you could feel it. So on this day when he disappeared, I was sad and happy. Sad that for selfish reasons I could not have the association anymore in flesh and blood, but happy that he went back. He went to his beloved Srimati Radhika for practicing his eternal seva to her lotus feet. And when we want to connect now with our beloved Srila Anantadas Babaji Maharaj, our beloved Gurudev, we have to raise our consciousness to the platform of Manjari Bhav, where we are Manjaris and he is our Guru Manjari. And whenever I do this, I can feel his presence. I know that he is there in his infinite wisdom and power and compassion. He is there in the spiritual world, but also with us in ways we cannot imagine. So he is always in our hearts when we are trying to ascend to his platform of consciousness. It's not always that easy, but it is possible. So whenever we fix ourselves on our Guru Manjari's lotus feet, then connection is established. And as much as we purify our heart and we purify our mind, the more we can feel her presence. It's her now. She's the most beloved Kinkari of Radhika now for us. And we will never forget what we received, this most magnanimous gift of Manjari Bhav Sadhana, our spiritual Siddha Deha. These are not to be, you cannot compare these jewels to any jewels of this world. So this is what I can say, and Jai Shri Radhe, I'm so thankful that I had the pleasure and the real, opportunity to meet such a great soul and to have been able to have a real nice, loving relationship with him in a very, very loving and jolly way. I'm so thankful for that. I always will remember these times, and we are very fortunate that we could have met him and we still meet him through his books. Srila Anantadas Babaji Maharaj Gurudev Ki Jai. With all my love, Tarun.